You're listening to Body Confident Friday, the place to be for tools, strategies, and perspectives to help you feel more comfortable and confident in your body. I'm Judy Craddock, the Body Confidence Coach, author of the Little Book of Body Confidence, and creator of the Body Confidence Journey, the coaching program for women who want to stop chasing the perfect body and embrace the one that they are in. Welcome to the show. Today I want to talk about the stages of body grief and how to manage them. Now, in episode 187 of Body Confident Friday, I introduced the concept of body grief and why it is so important to healing the relationship that you have with your body. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, I suggest you go check that out first. But put simply, body grief happens when you give up the fantasy of having a certain body type and the life you always imagined would come with it. And to move through body grief, you have to move through 5 stages. And in this episode, I'm going to explain to you each stage in more detail and how you can manage them. Now, it's important to say that these stages do not necessarily happen in a linear way. You can cycle between the various stages. So let's get stuck into the first of the 5 stages, which is denial. Now, in denial, you don't want to let go of the idea of the perfect body, which for most women means being thinner. And serial dieting is so common because it's something we've been conditioned to believe is the magic bullet to having a thinner body. And this conditioning is all part of the denial stage. And people find it hard to believe that diets are not going to work. Even though most have heard the statistic that diets don't work 95 to 97% of the time, but there are still people who think that they can be that 3 to 5% for whom diets do work. And even if you have accepted that diets don't work, it can be so easy to slip back into denial when you hear about someone else's miracle weight loss on some trendy new diet. So what can you do at this stage? Well, it's really important to keep educating yourself about diets and weight loss and really protect yourself from triggers by creating a safe diet-free space. So you might want to start looking at research studies that look at the effectiveness of diets or learn about health at every size. At this stage, it can also be useful just to question how effective diets have been for you in the past. Did they really deliver long-term results? Because most diets, they can deliver results in the short term, but not in the long term. And how did dieting make you feel? Did it make you feel good or did it make you feel miserable? So really think about, what did dieting cost you mentally, physically, and financially? So that's the first stage, denial. The next stage to talk about is anger. And in the anger stage, you may find that you are directing your anger at yourself or at others. So if you find that you're angry at yourself, please be self-compassionate. It is not your fault if you couldn't achieve the perfect body. The perfect body is an illusion that has been sold to you by the beauty, the diet, and sometimes even the fitness culture. And it's understandable that you want to have this perfect body because that is what we have been conditioned to want. But instead of being angry with yourself, get angry with the industries that are promoting this unattainable ideal. You could maybe get involved in some activism, whether that's campaigning for changes to advertising standards for the beauty and diet industries, or working in your community to help young people stop defining their worth by their weight, shape, or appearance. So find an appropriate way to channel your anger. So let's look at the bargaining stage now. So in this stage, you kind of want to accept your body as it is, but you also maybe can't get past feeling that there is still a chance you can achieve that dream body. And so these opposing feelings may mean that you decide to do one last diet or one last attempt to try to change your body, or you might start inventing reasons to justify going on a diet by saying things like, oh, I just have more energy in a smaller body, or it's about health, it's not about weight, when really it's all about wanting to achieve that thin ideal. And so many clients are at this stage when they start to work for me. And it's really common for the diet thoughts to pop up just as you decide that you want to work on body acceptance. So at this stage, working with a body image therapist or a coach can really help you to unpick those opposing thoughts and work through what's really behind your desire for the perfect body. So that's bargaining. Let's look at depression. Now, if you believe that your life can only be better when you have the perfect body, being unable to achieve that body can feel like a devastating loss. And depression is triggered by your dreams and goals just feeling out of reach to you without that dream body. And it's important to acknowledge that it is totally possible for you to do, have, or become whatever you want to in the body you are in right now. And it's only you that has put conditions on your hopes. So at this stage, it's important to identify all the goals and dreams that you have associated with being in your ideal body, and to create a plan to work towards them right now in the body that you are in. So this brings us to acceptance. So what is acceptance? So in acceptance, you are coming to terms with the loss of your dream body. So some days you might be able to just say to yourself, this is my body, even though you may not like it. Because acceptance is about recognizing the reality you're in, regardless of how it makes you feel. And body acceptance is not a final destination. You can pass in and out of it. And that is why body acceptance is a practice. You have to keep practicing it. Now, I'm going to share with you some examples of how you kind of might shift out of acceptance into some of the other stages. So if you've maybe got some friends and they're talking about their latest diet, that might send you back into bargaining or denial again. Or if you went out on a date and say that date said they didn't want to see you again, you might start to assume it's because they don't like your body, and then you start thinking you're never going to meet a partner, and that can send you into depression. And so when you are, if you like, moving through these different stages, it's really important to understand what triggers move you into some of the other stages of body grief, so you can start acknowledging them and just begin to work through them as they arise. So that's it. Those are the 5 stages of body grief. And I'm going to be talking more about how you can sit with the discomfort of body grief in the next episode in this series, which will be number 189. But until then, I've got some more coaching questions for you just to help you digest this episode and take some action as well. So the first question I want you to think about is, what stage or stages of body grief have you been experiencing? Can you recognize yourself in any of these stages? And which stage do you most frequently find yourself in? Is there one stage that you find you always go back to? And based on what I've shared in this episode, what's one action that you can take to manage your body grief? Now, if you need some support managing your body grief, I have got you. I help clients work through their body grief on my coaching program, The Body Confidence Journey. And if you want to find out more about that, you can book a free, no obligation call and find out if this program is the next best step for you. And you can do that by following the link below wherever you are listening. That's all I've got for this episode of Body Confident Friday. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to catch you next time.